हेलो। हेलो। अभी आवाज आ रही है मेरी?
Yes, sir.
एंड स्क्रीन इज आल्सो विजिबल?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will start within another 1 minute because I have given 1:15 as the time, and perhaps this will be your last chapter in the course. So today we want to start a new chapter on design of digital filters. Okay, so this is the last chapter because we have already seen how to implement or how to obtain different structures of these given FIR or IIR filters. But we were given that H of Z or equivalently H of N or equivalently the difference equation of the given system. And from the given H of Z, you have studied various ways of implementing a given filter. But how to obtain H of Z or how to obtain H of N for a given design specifications, that is the subject of this chapter. Okay. Hello. Kajal, you meet me at 2:15 in my room. Okay. So the design of digital filters is the subject topic of this chapter. Before discuss the individual design methods of IIR and FIR filters, let us see the ideal filter characteristics. The This is the ideal filter characteristic, a rectangular kind of pulse. I mean, from 0 to FC, this is having a flat, I mean, this is only the magnitude part of the filter. Of course, you would require that the phase characteristic of the filter as a function of frequency is a negatively sloped straight line. I have already seen how if you deviate from these two characteristics, that is the magnitude, I mean, I have shown only the frequency characteristics of the low pass filter, where you have a flat amplitude response of 1 up to a frequency called cutoff frequency. FC is the cutoff frequency of the filter, and beyond FC, you have a zero response, no transmission through the filter. This is what we desire ideally. Amplitude response is flat and phase response is a negatively sloped straight line. If phase response is different from straight line, you experience delay distortions because the negative of the derivative of this slope, the phase response is the delay, phase delay. Similarly, if you deviate from the flat amplitude response, you will obtain frequency distortion. And what is the third distortion in the filters? Amplitude distortion. Amplitude distortion was nonlinear distortion, where some new frequencies will appear in the output of the filter. Whereas these two, that is, if the amplitude is not flat and phase response is not flat, there will not be any new frequency generated in the output of the filter. Whatever is the frequencies present in the input signal, they will be same, except that different frequencies will be amplified by different amount and different frequencies may be delayed by different amount. So you will have some delay distortions and some frequency distortion. Therefore, the shape of the output pulse may be different from shape of the input pulse. But an important question is, can we realize these ideal filters practically? Now, the answer to this question is that you cannot realize any ideal filter in practice. You cannot design a filter whose response is this brick wall characteristics. Flat up to some frequency and again flat after or beyond that particular frequency. Why? Because if you, one answer is that given this h of omega, if you find out the impulse response using, of course, the phase function, then typically this will be a sync response kind of thing. Ideally, this must be familiar to you. It will be a sync function. H of n is a discrete signal, but it will be approximating these are the discrete values of the impulse. Ideally, this h of n will be, or to be more precise, this will be sine of omega Cn divided by omega Cn multiplied by omega C upon pi. This is the exact value of the impulse response of the filter. When n is not 0 and if n is 0, and if n is 0, this is equal to omega C upon pi. This is the impulse response of the ideal low pass filter. But if you see, for any physical implementable filter, your impulse response should be causal. That means h of n should be 0 for n less than 0. This is the condition for causality of the filter. That means physical realizability. So that means your response should not appear before you apply the input. Your impulse response means you have applied the impulse at n is equal to 0. And your filter is giving output even before n is equal to 0. That is not possible physically. The physically realizable low pass filter will demand that your impulse response is 0 for n less than 0, which is not the case. So we cannot realize this filter. Now, one way of approximating this could be that you delay this h of n, you obtain h of n minus n0. So ultimately your origin will be shifted somewhere here. Now you can make it causal. So after delaying it by some fixed unit which is sufficiently large, you can approximate it. You cannot obtain an ideal filter still, because ideally the h of n is of infinite duration, infinite length sequence. H of n is an infinite duration signal. Even by delaying by a constant unit will not make it finite. Agreed or not? Hello?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What was
Hello?
Yes, sir.
यानी किसी का क्वेश्चन था? किसी का कोई डाउट है? कोई अलाउ करना है क्लास में या चलूं आगे? The point I am making is that because HFN is of infinite duration, shifting this to the right by some finite number n0 will not make it of finite duration. Still, there will be some samples which will not satisfy this causality condition. Hn is equal to 0 for n less than 0. So the point is that we cannot realize any. Same argument will hold good for high pass, band pass, or band reject filters. That their impulse response is not 0 for n less than 0. That is the condition for causality. That means these filters, ideal filters, are not causal filters. Therefore, we cannot realize them physically. That is one thing. The second condition is in the frequency domain, or equivalently, what is the frequency domain restriction of or implication of this condition in time domain? The implication of this condition in time domain is what is called Pauli-Wiener criterion. This criteria indicates that for a digital filter, natural log of mod of h omega, then again mod of this d omega is less than infinity. This condition is known as Pauli-Wiener criterion. So this is the frequency domain counterpart of your causality condition. H of n is equal to 0 for n less than 0. This is the time domain condition. This is the equivalent condition in the frequency domain of the filter. If your magnitude response of the filter satisfies this condition, remember only amplitude response is playing some role here. Phase response is not coming into picture. So this is the necessary and sufficient condition for realizability of the given h of omega. If one particular h of omega is basically realizable or not, if it is satisfying the Pauli-Wiener criteria, that particular mod h of omega is realizable. That means you can always associate with this some phase function so that this h omega is causal. That means h omega satisfies this condition. Understand the Pauli-Wiener criteria? What is it? It is the frequency domain condition for physical realizability of the given filter. Now what we are saying is that this Pauli-Wiener criteria is not satisfied by ideal filters. Ideal filter will violate this condition. That means they will not be realizable. Now can you tell me why ideal filter will violate this? What is the value of mod h omega for an ideal low pass filter?
0.
It will be
0.
Why 0? It is 1. Mod h
L
omega is
then
the pass band. In the pass band,
ln1 equal to 0.
beyond fc it will be 0. ln of 1 is 0, of course, and if you consider this range, what about this? Log 0 is minus infinity. Agreed? Log 0 is minus infinity. Of course, for this value it is 0. But what about this range from fc to pi? So from fc to pi, I mean you can, because digital frequency range is only from minus pi to pi, this particular quantity natural log of 0, that will be minus infinity, and because of this mod it is plus infinity. So what will be the value of this integral?
Infinite.
Infinite. That means this condition will be violated, because Pauli-Viner criteria require that this integral should be finite. Less than infinity means this integral should be finite, whereas for ideal filters, this integration or this integral, definite integral, is turning out to be infinite, sorry. Value of this definite integral for ideal filters is infinite. That means ideal filters are not satisfying this Pauli-Viner criteria. हेलो, कुछ लाइट गई है भाई? हेलो,
Yes, sir.
इधर कुछ लाइट गई है, इसलिए कुछ प्रॉब्लम आया. लेट अस वेट फॉर फ्यू मिनट्स.
Okay, sir.
बट मेरे ख्याल से तुम अपना इतना तो समझ ही रहे हो कि आइडियल फिल्टर्स में इफ योर frequency response is 0 over a finite range, then you cannot realize a filter, because log 0 is infinite. But on the other hand, if your mod h omega is 0 only at some discrete set of frequencies, then there is no problem. मैं क्या कह रहा हूं कि ये h omega 0 एक इंटरवल में नहीं हो सकता, because if it is 0 over an interval, this multiplied by d omega, that will become infinite. But यदि एक ही फ्रीक्वेंसी पे 0 है, वो अलाउड है, क्योंकि d omega 0 हो जाएगा उस केस में. So even if this is infinite, d omega will become 0. तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज मैं कह रहा हूं. अभी वेट कर रहे हैं अपन, है 2 मिनट वेट कर रहे हैं. वी आर वेटिंग फॉर लाइट टू कम. ये दिख रहा है तुमको?
Yes, sir.
ये ऐसा रेस्पॉन्स चलेगा आइडियल फिल्टर में, बिकॉज दिस फिल्टर इज हैविंग ए 0 at some discrete frequencies only. This 0 response is not over an interval, so you can always realize this any filter which is having this kind of response. Is this point clear? If your
Yes, sir.
amplitude response is 0 only at discrete set of frequencies, it will not create any problem, and Pauli-Wiener criteria will be satisfied, because your log 0 is infinite only at one particular frequency, so d omega will be 0. So you can always realize any filter having non-ideal response, but which is 0 at some discrete set of frequencies, this kind of. So in the passband also you may have some ripples. Your passband amplitude may not be flat. Similarly, your ideally For the frequency beyond fc, your response should be 0. So this is called stop band. There are few terms associated with filter design. Stop band. Stop band is the range of frequencies where you want very little transmission or infinite attenuation, theoretically you can say. Filter should stop these frequencies from appearing in the output. Whereas pass band is the range of frequencies which should be allowed to pass through the filter and which should appear in the output of the filter. What I am saying is that if your filter is having some ripples in the pass band, then a transition band, and it may have some ripples in the stop band also. So this particular, ripples, amplitude of the ripples, it can be different from your ideal as 1. So your upper limit of this can be 1 plus delta 1, and your lower limit is say 1 minus delta 1. So what is the range of your ripples here? Delta 1. Ideally it should be 1 flat. So last frequency where this is minus 1 minus delta, that is called pass band edge, omega p, pass band edge. Similarly, you are allowing some attenuation in the stop band. Say the value of this attenuation in the stop band is delta 2, or the maximum ripples amplitude in the stop band is delta 2. Maximum amplitude of the ripple in the pass band is delta 1. So they may not be of the same height. Ripples in the pass band or ripple in the stop band may not be of the same height. In fact, typically they can be decaying. Okay? So this particular frequency where response हेलो, हाँ मैं अभी करता हूँ मैडम, अभी क्लास में हूँ, मैं बात करता हूँ, ठीक है? हाँ, so what I am saying is that the frequency where first value where the amplitude of the filter is delta 2, and after that it never exceeds delta 2, that will form the stop band edge. Stop band edge, and there will be some transition band. This particular difference from omega s minus omega p, that is called transition band. किसी को दिक्कत है तो बताओ, मैं दोबारा रिपीट कर सकता हूं. ओमेगा पी कहां से मिलेगी? जहां पे हमारा वैल्यू ऑफ द रिपल्स इज 1 माइनस डेल्टा 1. एग्रीड? And it always varies between 1 plus delta 1 and 1 minus delta 1. So that edge forms the omega p, pass band edge. And what is the how to obtain omega s? That the filter amplitude response is delta 2, and beyond it never exceeds delta 2. That first frequency beyond which the amplitude response is less than or equal to delta 2, that is called omega s. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
And difference between omega s and omega p is called transition band. Ideally, what is the width of this transition band?
0.
0. Ideal filter was having a 0 transition band width. but practically you will have some transition bandwidth. Now, what I am saying is that given these design specifications, so every designer will be giving you some tolerable limits of delta 1 and some tolerable limits of delta 2, depending upon his own application. That I can tolerate this much amount of variation in the passband amplitude, this much ripples I can tolerate, this is the transition bandwidth I can tolerate. So he will give you all these omega p, omega s, delta 1 and delta 2. These are the 4 variables which are appearing in the figure, which any designer would give you. And your goal will be to obtain the impulse response of the filter, H of n, be it IIR or FIR filter. Now, if you have heard of the Butterworth filter, then Butterworth frequency response is always monotonic. It never has a ripple either in the pass band or stop band. This is the main characteristic of your Butterworth filter. If you have heard it in the MATLAB exercise in the lab, you might have used some command for designing Butterworth filter. Butterworth, agreed? Butterworth filter में ripples नहीं है, either in the pass band or stop band. This is the response of the analog filter, analog low pass filter, analog low pass filter. Why are we discussing analog filter here in this course? Because we are discussing digital signal processing here. Because some of the IIR filter design technique starts from designing the given filter in the analog domain. So one should little bit understand or learn the art of analog filter design also. That is required in the design of digital IIR filters. डिजिटल आईआर फिल्टर में भी हमें एनालॉग फिल्टर डिजाइन की जरूरत पड़ती है. Okay, that's why we are going to discuss or at least touch upon the topic of analog filter also. और उसमें मैंने एक important type of filter का नाम लिया, that is called Butterworth filter. It is an all pole filter. One upon, I mean, its frequency response h of s. S is the Laplace transform variable. This is equal to 1 upon some polynomial, which is some specific type of polynomial for this. So it is an all pole filter, no zeros. Okay, so this Butterworth filter is completely specified by poles alone. Of course, in general, any filter will require some zero specifications and pole specifications. But this particular filter only requires poles to be specified because all zeros will be located at infinity. And interestingly, all the poles of this Butterworth filter, they lie on a circle in the S-plane. All the roots of this filter, they will lie on a circle in the S-plane. Of course, you cannot have pole on the right half of the S-plane because of the stability consideration. So all the pole will be lying on the left half of the S-plane. But they will always lie on circle. That is the important property of Butterworth filter. Agreed? इतना समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Now there will be another important type of analog filter that is called Chebyshev filter. But Chebyshev filter, I mean, there are two categories of Chebyshev filter. In the first category, you are having a ripples in the stop band and no ripples in the pass band. Whereas in the other category, you will be having a ripples in the pass band and no ripples in the transition band. So for a type 1 Chebyshev filter, type 1 Chebyshev filter will be having ripples in the pass band and then monotonic response. That is the property of Chebyshev type 1 filter. And reverse of this, that is no ripples in the pass band but only ripples in the stop band. That is the property of a Chebyshev type 2. ठीक है, तो चेबिशेव में केवल एक जगह रिपल्स है, दोनों जगह नहीं है. On the other hand, if there is another category of filter which is called elliptical filter, your elliptical filter will have ripples in the pass band as well as ripples in the stop band. Elliptical filter, or elliptical filters are also called Cayer filters, C-A-U-E-R. C-A-U-E-R, Cayer. C-A-U-E-R, Cayer filters. C-A-U-E-R. Elliptical filters. These are also called elliptical filters. And elliptical filter में तो मैं इन तीनों की समरी दूं. बटरवर्थ में पास बैंड और स्टॉप बैंड दोनों में रिपल्स नहीं है. चेबिशेव में एक जगह रिपल्स है और इलेप्टिकल में कहाँ है?
बोथ
दोनों जगह. एम्पलीट्यूड तुम्हारे पास बैंड में भी रिपल्स है और स्टॉप बैंड में भी रिपल्स है इलेप्टिकल में. बट दीज इलेप्टिकल फिल्टर्स आर said to be, optimum filters. Optimum in the sense that no other filter will be having lesser transition band than the elliptical filter. All other filters will be having a transition band which is larger than Cayer filters. So these filters are optimum in this sense. Or equivalently, for a given transition band, the order of the elliptical filter will be least among all other filters. No other filter can provide you the same transition bandwidth for a lesser order. Order of the filter means power of this polynomial. Degree of this polynomial is called order of the filter. Highest degree coefficient of S in the denominator is called order of the filter. Fifth order filter, 10th order filter. That means the degree of this polynomial PS will be 10th. So, if suppose some response is satisfied by Butterworth filter for a given order 10, then it may so happen that this elliptical filter is providing a similar response but for a fourth order filter. Chebyshev, let us say the order is 6. So among all these three categories of filter, that is Cayer, Chebyshev and Butterworth, Butterworth order will be largest, followed by Chebyshev, and then of course the optimum filter will be elliptical filter or Cayer filters. What is the disadvantage here? Cayer ka, it is having ripples in the pass band as well as stop band. So these ripples are sometimes undesirable or intolerable. So if these ripples are important for you, go for Butterworth filter. Butterworth filter does not have any ripples either in the pass band or stop band. समझ गए इतना?
Yes, sir.
बटरवर्थ में कहीं रिपल्स नहीं है. चेबिशेव में टाइप 1 में किस जगह रिपल्स है? पास बैंड में. टाइप 2 में कहाँ रिपल्स है? स्टॉप बैंड में. और इलेप्टिकल फिल्टर में कहाँ रिपल्स हैं?
Both pass band and stop band.
पास बैंड में भी है और स्टॉप बैंड में भी है. लेकिन वो ऑप्टिमम फिल्टर है इन द सेंस दैट दिस फॉर ए गिवन ट्रांजिशन बैंड विड्थ, दैट इज ओमेगा एस माइनस. ट्रांजिशन बैंड के किसको बोल रहा हूं मैं? ओमेगा एस माइनस ओमेगा पी. Omega s minus omega p is the transition band. So for a given transition bandwidth, that is for a given omega s minus omega p, the order provided by Cayer filter will be least. It cannot be lesser for any other filter. इसका इलेप्टिकल फिल्टर नाम क्यों है? बिकॉज पोल्स ऑफ दिस इज आल्सो एन ऑल पोल फिल्टर. Elliptical filter is also an all pole filter, the 1/ps kind of thing. And the location of these poles will be lying on an ellipse. All the poles of the elliptical filter will lie on an ellipse. बटरवर्थ के पोल कहाँ लाई करते हैं?
Circle.
सर्किल